welcome back to Hardwood Turning in the Stable Studio. Today's project is a little bit of maintenance and a bit of good news on my Proedge. So some of you will be aware that the diamond belt that I had from my Proedge started to sort of delaminate. The diamond coating started to come off it. So I got in contact with Robert Sorby, and Robert Sorby have sent me a new one. So this is the new diamond belt. We'll do an unboxing of that in a minute or two, but first I want to get over the Proedge, and I'm going to give it a little bit of preventative maintenance to keep it in good order. So let's pop over to the Proedge and get started. Now we're at the Proedge. As you can see, I have it set on my bench here, just in its normal situation, just off the side of my lathe. I step back there, there's the motor for my lathe, and I can step from the lathe straight over to the Proedge. Tools are all stored in behind here. So first and foremost, before you do any maintenance on your machine, make sure you switch it up. So power off at the socket, and I'm even going to disconnect the power lead. Put that out the way. And that means there's no danger of me catch my fingers, even if I do happen to flick that switch accidentally. So as you can see, I'm wearing gloves today because this can be sometimes a bit dirty. There will be some black grinding dust and stuff in here. So first thing we'll do is we'll take off the table. I'll just show you a little thing about my table. The Proedge, when it comes, has got a hole drilled in the side, but I've elongated that hole. I'll just let you see that up against the background there. So this hole was just the same size as this, but I've just elongated it down to the end so you can just lift it straight off. So all you have to do is undo the nut a little bit, lift it off, and that's you. Saves you having to undo that all the way out. Just makes the change a little bit quicker for me. I'm not for 1 minute suggesting you should modify yours. And I'll just take that out altogether because we'll be wanting to oil that or at least wax that in there. So we'll put that to one side. So let's get on with the maintenance then. First and foremost, let's see what tools we need. We're going to need an Allen key, which is 5mm, to undo the back guard. I'm going to use some Lubrication lubricating wax, which needs a good shake before you actually use it. Lubrication lubricating wax. And we'll just take the top off there now, leave it over to one side. And last, we're going to use some PTFE spray. So there's 2 thumb screws on here, just undo them. Hold the guard because it'll fall off if you don't. Put them to one side. And just pop the guard over there. Let's come back to the other camera now. As I showed you in the beginning, there are 2 screws here. We're just going to undo them. You get that satisfying little click as it starts to undo itself. Just a little short 8mm hex-headed machine screw. This one up here is the same. Just undo that. This one won't fall off. It just falls down a little bit. Now, to get this one off, it's a little bit of a trick. It drops down, push it backwards, and then lift it straight up and back. And it comes off the back here. So this is where it comes off. Get it back on. It's the same thing in reverse. Get that lug in there, and then bring in the bottom lug. I'll show you that again in a bit more detail. So that's them off. Next thing you do is remove the belt. And the belt's simply removed by, this is a cam lever on the top. So depress the cam lever towards the front. And all that does is drops down the top pulley. Slide that belt off. And that's our little 120 grit belt that I've been using for sharpening whilst I was waiting for my diamond belt to come. Set that to one side. And we'll deal with the diamond belt just in a minute or two. Just give this a quick clean while I've got it out. And what I normally do is give it a blow down with my air gun, and then remove any dust that's in the bottom with the hoover. Just vacuum any dust out of it. You guys are quite aware that I'm quite tidy in my workshop, so this is done about once a month for me. And the first thing I do, let me go back to this camera, is I bring this arm back up to 90 degrees. So there's two Allen screws here, one there and one at the back. Open them, and this allows this to move. So the first thing I do is I oil that with PTFE spray. So I just go spray that in there. And then just work that back and forward a minute. And I'm going to leave it standing up at roughly about 90 degrees just for now. And just gently lock them back off. I may have to undo them again in a minute or two. Wipe off any excess. And that's that bit lubricated. Dirty. Now the important bit for most people to lubricate is this piece of steel. This is a piece of 8mm plate steel with all the holes and everything drilled in it to the main body of the machine basically. That will rust because the coating that's on it is not much of a coating, to be honest. It will rust. So what I do with that is I give it some Lubrication lubricant wax, and here's how I put it on. I just take my brush and I just give it a quick rub, little dabs all over the place, into any little nooks and crannies that I can't actually get into with a cloth. Make sure I get all the little holes done, all the way down to the bottom, round the outside edge, all the way up to the top. And I'll do exactly the same thing on the other side. Little dub. And just give it a little coat of Lubrication lubricating wax. Any machine wax will do, guys. All you're trying to do is make sure your machine stays healthy, rust free. Now be careful you don't get it on the pulleys, etc. And if you do, just wipe off. Don't stress. So that's that. Give that a light coating. Doesn't take very much wax. A little bit of wax goes a long, long way. Now what I'll do now is just give the whole thing a rub over and remove any excess wax, because all we want is just a fine coating left on there. This piece here is kind of famous for rusting, so make sure you've got a good coating on that. And as same as with this, what looks like stainless steel, but I'm not so sure it is. Just make sure I get any excess that I've got a little bit extra on that. I've just got a little bit extra on this pulley at the top here, so take a clean piece of cloth and just give that a wipe off. I think that bit is stainless steel, so we'll make sure there's no contaminants on it. It's going to affect the belt in any way, and if need be, we could even give that a little spray with a little bit of methylated spirits and just make sure that is clean. I'll do the same with the bottom one. Sometimes you might get a little bit of build up on these, a little bit of black on them, with which is the grinding paste or the grindings of your tool getting caught in the belt, and then it turns into like a paste. There we go. Just give this side a bit of a rub down. Make sure I haven't got any big blobs of wax anywhere. And behind the plate here, which gets a bit dirty. There we go, that's that done. We'll just give it outside a quick rub as well on the body. And what I did notice on some of the guards, let's have a quick look at the guard. This guard's not so bad, but occasionally you'll get a bit of paint chipped off, a tiny little bit of paint chipped off there. I'll just give that a little rub with the Liberon wax as well, and that'll just keep any rust at bay. Same here. You'll notice on the bottom of this one, there is a bit of a groove. This is before I got it. This was second hand to me. That little groove is where the belt has been rubbing on the guard. So I'll make sure there is some wax in there to stop that from rusting any further. There we go. Piece of paper in the bin. So now we're going to, that's the maintenance done, guys. That's as much maintenance as I can do. Just check the bearings, make sure the bearings are not loose. The pulleys are not loose. The pulleys are just held on. They're held on by a circlip up here. And there's two Allen screws in the bottom here to hold it onto the motor shaft. I've never touched them. Don't intend to touch them unless they actually become loose. So now we want to reassemble this. So I'm just going to set it back to its 30-degree angle where I normally have it. Right there somewhere. Give that a tighten up. Now, you don't have to tighten these up too hard, guys. Just give them a little, just a quick little squeeze up. We'll put the back guard on first. As I said, it's a little bit funny to get it back on. You have to hook it over the top of there. And then if I go to the other camera now, excuse me, lift it up, get the top guide to come in, and then drop it down, and the bottom flange will come in as well. So it's this flange here that's the, so drop down, get this flange to come in over the top of the arm, and there it's in place. Two little screws, and I'll do it from this side for you, so as you can see. One little screw, make sure your holes are lined up. Oops, just there somewhere. This is why I was never a mechanic. So loosely put that one in, line the second one up. There's a little bit of play in the hole in the flange, so there's a little bit of movement there, as you can see. And just loosely tighten that up with your fingers, and then give it a little tighten up with your Allen screw, Allen key. It doesn't take, again, doesn't take much, no force, just tighten up a little bit. Just a wee bit, as they say. And that's that located back on. Now, the next thing I want to do is install a diamond belt. So let me put that over there out of the way. This is a diamond belt. Just so you're aware, guys, this is a 200 grit belt. It's not 180 or anything else, it's 200 grit. It says it on the box. There is no direction of travel on this. Normally on a belt you would see an arrow or something to tell you which way it goes round, but there is no direction of travel. The joint seems to be a bi-directional joint, and it's smooth. You can't feel the joint at all. So to put it on, let's change back to that camera. Make sure that our top roller is depressed using the locking or the cam arm. I always put the bottom pulley on first, make sure it goes over the table, and then stretch the belt up a little bit onto the top pulley. Slide it in place. And what I do, before I put this guide on, I'll plug the machine back in. Make sure my hands and everything's well out the way. Switch it on at the wall. And then standing out the way, switch it on here. And just let it run till it centers itself. You can check at this stage whether you need to make an adjustment up here to get the thing to run perfectly in the middle of the pulleys. So that to me is fine. I can switch that back off, switch it off at the wall, and unplug it again. I now replace the outer guard. Again, the outer guard is replaced very simply. Just line the holes up. So there's 2 bolt holes here, one here, and the little thumb screw fits in there. So pop the guide on. Locate your first one and do it up a little bit. Locate the second one, which gives you a bit of movement there, a bit of free space, and then locate your second one. And then just tighten the thumb screws up. Again, no great pressure, just a little tighten there. A little bit more, just there. And that's that nice and tight. And we'll give it another quick test run. Plug the power back in. Switch it on the wall. And switch it on. And there's our diamond belt installed. So that's that installed. And I'll quickly give you a little bit of sharpening there. Let you see me sharpening my skew. We'll put the table back on. First thing, let's put a little arm back in. Let's go to this camera again. Put this screw back in. It's a little bit of a pain, this screw, to be honest. Hence modifying the table. Let's that screw back in. Table on, and I've already set this screw to, because I used this last for sharpening my skew, to 20 degrees. That's where I sharpen my skew at. We'll use the little guide, the little triangle guide, which is a 45-degree guide, and pop our skew. So that angle, if we put that against there, do it on that side for you so you can see it better. Put that against there. And all we need to do then is advance the tool up until it touches the belt. Allow the belt to do its work and take the tool off the belt again. Now, I want you to think about this just for a second. When you're sharpening a tool, don't lift the handle of the tool because you're liable to dig into the belt. Just draw the tool straight back down again, and that'll take it away from the belt safely. So there, and take it straight away. That'll take it away from the belt safely. So let's just quickly give this a sharpen. I'll start with this side. Line it up on the angle, make sure it's nice and flat on the bed. Advance it till it starts to contact the belt. There, and just slide it across. No real pressure on the belt. Same thing, advance it till it touches the belt, and just take it across. That's that sharpened. As simple as that, really. And I'll let you see it sharpening a gouge as well. So we'll just quickly take this table back off again. Unscrew that, lift that off. Put that back in its box and that back in its box. Because I'm turning a bowl later, or spindles, I'm going to be using this jig here and the jig for holding the gouge. So we'll sharpen this 3/8 bowl gouge. Just pop it in to the jig, line it up on the, just drop that camera down a fraction so you can see that. So this is the Pro set, and there's 4 angles, 35, 40, 45 and 50 degrees. I'm just setting this at 45 degrees because currently most of my tools are set at 45 degrees. And that means that I need to use the top hole in the Proedge. That's 45 degrees. Each hole adds, I think it's 5 degrees, or is it 10? 45, 50, 55, I think is the way it goes. I think each hole adds 5 degrees, I think. Don't quote me on that. Now let me go back to that camera again. Oh, that camera. So now we have the tool set up. If I start the belt, all I'm going to do is I'm going to sharpen one wing at a time. So do the right wing, change over, do the left wing, Again, no pressure on the belt, guys. And then all I'm going to do now is roll the nose over. No pressure. Lift it off. And that's the tool sharp, guys. It's as quick as that with a diamond belt. Once you have the correct profile on your gouge, go that side. There. Once you have the correct profile, it's dead easy to sharpen. There we are, guys. That's the maintenance of the Proedge. So I'll come back to you in a second on the other camera, just for a bit of a wrap up and quick discussion about the diamond belt. Okay, last thing, or second last thing, guys, the diamond belt itself. This is the box it came in. You've already seen it installed on the machine. So I just want you to let's see the box. 200 grit. So what it says on the box, diamond belts offer the pinnacle in abrasive technology, providing durability and flexibility. Diamond particles are precisely graded to give long life solutions and are excellent for sharpening the most difficult materials. They also provide a great all-round alternative and are suitable for any material. Robert Sorby. Proedge, the ultimate sharpening system. So the other thing that comes in the box is this. Let me just turn that around so it's in the right place for you. The other thing that comes in the box is this little diamond belt care and maintenance card. I'm going to read it to you because I've heard some rubbish talked on YouTube about the care and maintenance of a diamond belt. It says, there's a warning in the beginning. It says, use with care. Diamond belts have extraordinary durability and provide a great all-round sharpening solution for any material, including tungsten carbide. I can nearly say that. Tungsten carbide. Please follow these instructions to get the best from your belt. The first thing they say is, let the belt do the work. Do not exert undue pressure, as you could damage the belt and reduce its longevity. So basically, you're just allowing the tool to touch the belt. You don't have to press on it at all. Just let it touch it. Second thing, to clean the belt, wash with warm water to remove any clogged particles and allow to dry before using again. Now that says warm water. It doesn't say warm soapy water. It doesn't say warm water with anything else. It just says wash with warm water to remove any clogged particles and allow to dry. Don't stick it on your Proedge wet. And it says when sharpening at 90 degrees. Now I'm thinking they mean when the arm is up at 90 degrees and you're going 90 degrees into the belt. Check to ensure that there's enough clearance to avoid the belt being trapped between the platform and the wear plate. The wear plate is the shiny bit at the back and that holds the belt. That's all it says there, guys. And it does give you on the back, it gives you, we also make a range of belts, and a range of other materials. Aluminium oxide, ceramic, aluminium oxide, zirconium, and trizac. I went for the diamond belt. So there you are, guys. Let me just go back to this camera. So that's that little demonstration finished. Robert Sorby Proedge maintenance and installation of a new diamond belt. First thing, thanks very much to Robert Sorby for replacing the belt that kind of started to fall apart on me. I do appreciate that. And secondly, thanks to all you guys for watching. That is really appreciated. If you're not subscribed already and you're watching my channel for the first time, please consider pressing the subscribe button, ringing the bell, and give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment in the below the video if you have any questions or any comments, good or bad. Let's have them. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.